5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
All right. How's everybody doing today? Happy Friday. Here in New York, it is hot. It is steamy, and there's clouds in the sky. I don't know if the fire's done yet. I'm looking around to see if that's the case for everybody around the rest of the country. If you don't know, right up in Newark, out in the harbor, there is a huge, it's been burning the past 2 days. A couple of firemen were killed. A big mess. So the Jersey Shore yesterday, I have some photos of it. We had a big cloud of schmuck juice and air and floating by. Thankfully, it kind of bypassed my house in the town I live in, the beautiful Highlands in New Jersey. So for today, we have an excellent guest. We have our friend Dave. Dave Look will be with us. He's also bringing his drummer sidekick on, who's from the band The Bullet Boys. So he'll be on with us shortly. And then we have our man. It's not an idiot abroad like the evil Grant. What's his name? He's the guy who tore him up at the Emmys. Oh, jeez. Mr. Mean, Ricky Gervais, my favorite hero. You know, I love.
Oh yeah.
He's just a hoot,
shit.
Man.
Yeah.
If he can't offend you, no one can, other than me.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, he's just so truthful. There's,
There's I love the look on Tom Hanks. I love Tom Hanks when he went, ooh. It made him wince. It was great. I liked it when he told them they had the moral credibility of I don't know, something like, it was just something really sordid. I'm trying to think of some of the people in Hollywood, like a kind of a Gary Busey crossed with Lindsay Lohan type of person.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Imagine if those two spawned.
Holy shit!
I mean,
that's
seriously.
the future of America.
Oh man, that'd be frightening. It kind of seems like they already did, and they've cloned them and sent them out, doesn't it? I mean, there's some disturbing.
Undercover.
Yeah, they just put them out in the night. It's like when the people, the dreamers come over, they just drop them off they drop them off in Seattle, which is really a bad joke on the poor bastards. They come up here and they drop in the middle of a war zone in Seattle, and they're like, we don't know how many we dropped off. Exactly. And then they sort of saunter off into the moonlight. I don't blame them.
Multiply years later.
Well, I mean, our visitors are Catholic, It's not like they're not known for getting it on, having, cerveza and beer and having a good time, I like the Spanish Mexican folks. They bust their ass to get here. Well, I don't think we should have everybody climbing over the border with no checks, but that's just me. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, this world's beyond regulation. It's just...
That is a great comment. Absolutely. It's beyond regulation.
Words of wisdom.
There's not even any regulatory body that's brave enough.
Yeah, it's exactly.
They can't pay. The closest thing morally would be the jail guards at some prison down south, I'm sorry, the moral authority of these people is pretty lame. So did you know that we're looking for sharks here in Jersey along the shoreline?
Nice. Lone
with
sharks?
Drones and sharks, man. How much better of a deal? I mean, I want to sit there and chase sharks around with a drone. That sounds great,
that should be a segment. You going on location.
I think we should both go on location and go out to the hook.
Down.
I mean, get out on a boat for an afternoon, chase sharks around with a drone.
Yeah.
With my luck, the thing will fly into the water and then the shark will regulate it.
Exactly.
Right into the chomping thing. They're remarkably cheap, reasonably priced these days. I have a company who's sending me shit for 2 years every day. I can always just go kill it and junk it. But I know in the back of my mind, every dude wants a drone, man. There's not a guy like your son wants a drone, believe me.
Oh yeah, sure.
I mean, he might not quite realize it yet, but he definitely wants one. You know, don't worry. And you know, Uncle Neil will hook him up with the drum set once that path needs to be crossed. You're cursing me going.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's a drummer. Like, you know, like you could just tell there's certain things, you know.
Yeah. That's what they said. That's what my parents said. They were terrified. Lord have mercy. Can he do something else? Why didn't he pick up soccer or something, you know? Get out of the house, you little bastard.
Yeah.
So, let's see. I'm trying to find any good news. Let's see. Special counsels where 9-year-olds do 60 miles an hour. It sounds like where I wanted to be when I was young. Now, listen to this guy. This dude's flying here. I'm not sure if he's been alive for very long or if he has an IQ over, say, the room temperature in a meat packing plant. However, he gets on a plane, he makes a bomb threat on the flight, and then he tells them that he's doing this to escape the cartel, which is waiting in Seattle for him, where apparently that's where he was going. Speaking of Seattle, you know.
Seattle again? Wow.
Craig was on there, and he told me it's relatively peaceful out in his environs, you know. Doesn't have anybody running in the streets and breaking into cars. That's the latest thing that they do now, is they don't even... From Auto Theft Weekly, the Gold Edition, the latest thing with these guys is they break the back left window out. And they open up the trunk because everybody got wise to them. And they put all the shit in the trunk. These guys are so slick. They come up, they go boom. They open up the trunk. They look in. If there's nothing in there, they're just like fuck it, and they move on to the next car. You know? It's a racket, you know. Yep. I mean, I just wish we could get some goods from these people. No, I'm kidding. Let's see what else have we got. HGTV. What is this? HGTV is making our homes boring and us sad, says one study. I'm not sad. I watched Dirty Harry last night, the first one where he brutally goes up and says, "Go ahead, scumbag. I know you're counting how many bullets I shot." And then he just whacks him right off the pier. Bang! Some gun safety shit there right away, man. Yeah. That guy just pulled one too many fuck-ups, and I like that. Dirty Harry, we need him now, I tell you. The man for the times.
Yeah.
Problem is old Clint's like 105 years old now.
Oh, yeah. I just saw a picture of him, like, you know, just like doing his everyday stuff. And I'm like, wow.
He's like writing another movie and producing
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah, the guy's, you know, I hope to be as alive and sentient as he is. I know a lot of people
that's what they say. Keep yourself busy, you know?
Absolutely.
Keep working.
I intend to. I'm working it, as our friend Tucky Parkus would say. Do you remember Tucky?
No, no, but I don't think I ever met them.
Oh, it's a lady friend of mine, and
Yeah.
Tucky is a hot ticket, man. She plays bass.
Nice.
She plays a long scale bass.
Nice.
She's like, I just say she's my type. She's like a big blonde Amazon chick who's got a fucking great personality. She's a hoot.
Nice.
She's also, she's entertained some of the cast people, you know, who've watched it over the years. And some of the audience participation. The first time she came on, she was wearing a nice a skirt, a mini skirt, you think of like from the 60s, and she was hot. And all I could say was people were writing me notes off camera, asking me if they could get her phone number and like who's she dating and all this shit.
Oh my God.
Like all my friends are coming out of the woodwork. I'm like, you know, guys, I'm not like trying to sit here and sell Tucky's, you know, ladies parts, you know, it's just get out of here.
Seriously.
What kind of guy do you think I am? I mean, Jesus.
Seriously.
The way I look at it, she can negotiate her own prices.
That's right.
If they can make a love, and you know, if they can make a love connection or a lust connection, good for them.
That's what I mean. If a guy thinks he has a shot, don't go asking someone else. Shoot your shot. Don't be a freaking
your shot.
wimp.
Don't be a putz, man. Come on. What's
No
least
one
you can
wants a
say is
pussy
you're
ass.
incredibly ugly, and I'd never think of dating if you're the last man on earth.
Seriously. You know, it's just...
I always expect failure anyway. So when I go up and put that move on when I was a single guy, I had very little to lose. I just was like, I'm gonna go throw it out there. Hey, Blondie, what's happening? You know, can I buy you a drink? You want a pizza? I'll get you a cab home. I'm sorry. Terrible stuff. Well, in other news, we're almost at 10:12, so we got some time to talk. Let's see. Tell me, have you had anything that you've heard of in your life or this week or just now that you're off for a
Anything
few
new?
days? Anything new and exciting that you're...
You know, not really that I could think of. Like, as
How's
far
your
as,
guitar
like,
player doing? Is he ambulatory yet?
oh, he is kicking ass. It was funny. We got, we had a rehearsal. It was last week, right? And we weren't sure. You never know how long it takes. And I was just told him, like, whenever you're ready. And it was
Right.
like 2 weeks later, he's like, I'm ready to go, just ripping it away. And
That's excellent.
Every time he comes in, he just sounds better and better. Like, we're gonna melt faces.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
definitely nothing like a little baking their face right off the
Yeah,
front.
that's right.
Put blinder lights. I like putting blinders up front so when you hit them with those, after you have the lights really dark, and you just wail them with the blinders.
Like at the end,
man.
and everyone's like,
Ah, it's like the vampires got to crucify us out, you know? So let's see. I said HGTV is making our homes boring and making us sad. It's not making me sad at all, you know? Sad to me would be being stuck out here, having to walk to Newark
yeah.
in this
Yeah.
heat with the toxic cloud coming down, you know? That would be a tough
I mean,
life.
really, the general news, like on local channels, that's what's making me sad. Like, the more doses of reality I get, the more I'm like, fuck.
I have a hard time. The local news is just like, you're right. You just kind of go, oh. I heard. Sometimes I wake up and I just go, really, surely you jest. Okay, and then the Chinese military is leading the world in neurostrike weapons. And that's what happens when somebody pisses me off. I hit them with the brain blast, a neurostrike weapon from my cerebellum.
Nice.
It's
That's
like,
a thing. No.
if you think about it, it's kind of an interesting sound when I have to do it. I'm looking around to see if I can get it going on here. I don't know. What the hell is this, guys?
Do you have to rub your temples like?
Yeah, I got to sort of get. Oh no, really, all I got to do is they got to just kind of like strike that point of the overload point, where it's just an instant look. And my mom's got the same look. It's like, she like when I was a kid, she never had to beat me or anything. Mom was like, it'd get quiet.
You got the eye,
Got the
stink
Italian.
eye.
She might be taking her shoe off. No, I'm kidding you.
No, but the wooden spoon.
The wooden spoon. And let me tell you a great story. When I went to Florida and we moved down there, my friends, we stayed out one night and we drank a bunch of Mad Dog 2020 and got ruthlessly sick. Well, while we were out trying to recover before we went home, we were out at this lake and we're looking and there's all like 100 alligators. And my friend, I don't know shit about this. I've been down to Florida. I see alligators in the Circle K, a little head of one. A real one. They put them in some plastic shit. You can buy them for $5. When I'd go to Florida, I'd think, oh man, cool. I can buy like 5 alligator heads and bring them home. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but
They're alligator heads. You could do so many things with them.
Yeah, really. Grind them up when you don't have any weed and smoke them, things like that. But so my friend snatches a baby. He calls the damn things over. And it was incredible because you could see these eyes. And like some of them were really spread apart. At one point I'm going, well, maybe that's 2 of them. No, it's not. At any rate, he snatches one out that's about 2.5 foot. And he grabs it behind the neck. Well, first thing I'll tell you, if any of you guys want to try this at home, is they stink like ass. They're horrendous. I mean,
really?
My first impression after being sick from really wino wine, just dying out there, smelled like muscatel, It's like I went back, my mom was like, what did you get into? But the next day, I took the alligator from my friend, and my mom's making sauce on Sunday. And she just hears me and my friend come in, and I come into this tiny kitchen behind her, and I've got the alligator, which I'm just thrilled. I mean, my friends let me hold this stinky bastard. So I walk in behind Mom, and I'm like, Ma, what do you think of this? Why don't you throw this in the sauce? She turns around, and she just freaks. She's like, get that son of a bitch out of here. That filthy animal, she says. She goes, are you out of your mind? And then I'm thinking, it's been said. So she goes and gets a chopping block. She's had for decades, man. And she comes up and she just hits me on the shoulder with it. And it cracked along. It had been in the wash, She didn't hit me hard. But when it cracked, I couldn't help but break up and laugh. I totally lost it. And of course, she chased me out of the house with the remnants of it, telling me to take that fucking animal out of the house. And I never brought one back. She was really pissed. And the whole family really loves that story because... Anyhow, how about Thanksgiving, or not am I saying Thanksgiving, 4th of July up in your neighborhood? Was it like insane fireworks?
Well, you know, where I live, I have a park on one side that's like one town, right? That's in Dunellen. And then, like, I could hear the Piscataway fireworks over in the other direction. So there's two different ones that it's like I could see out my window, which is great. It's like I can be boop, boop, you know. I'm not really much for crowds, though. You know, I'm like one of those people like that, you know, if I could stay home and have the same experience at this point in life.
I sat up on the roof a couple of years, and it was just too hot and too much toxic shit, but I wanted to get up on the roof because I could see all the way to the East River, and it's great. And then, of course, my neighbors here in this town were going completely psycho with the fireworks and all this stuff. It was like people are writing in the little Facebook page. What you had is a contingent of people like myself who do feel sorry for the animals, and I know some animals and some people really freak out. So I feel for them. I also know that I don't know what to tell them. Like maybe take a trip to Amsterdam and bake out for a week when 4th of July is going on. But around this time of year is often Queen's Day. Actually, it's in May. And that's when all the soccer yobs from around the world gathering in Amsterdam to, I don't know, get in fights, act like soccer hooligans.
I don't know about this. This is news to me. I don't know about that sort of stuff.
It's kind of a crazy scene. I ended up finding out the hard way because I got there with my wife and realized that it's fucking Queen's Day. Nobody told me that. I barely got into the place that I rent whenever I've been there. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't get me my place? It's like, I've been here for a bunch of times. Come on, man. And so sure enough, they just gave me a different apartment in the building. And it's great because it's looking over the castle that I think Napoleon got rid of his ugly sister. He married her off to some, Dutchman. And it was pretty weird. So I could sit up there in this place, look at that, and then there's like a Heineken place across the street. And then right down around, you've got all these little places to eat and go in the weed shops. And, you know, you're around the corner. So if you have friends who've never been there, the first thing all the guys are like, where's the brothel, man? I want to see. Is it really like that? I'm like, it's fucking craziest shit you've ever seen, my man. Don't get all excited, okay? You can't afford it even. No.
That's funny.
But it's a crazy place. You know, right now with all the crap going on war-wise, I don't know personally if I would really take a trip over the pond. You know, it's just a little dicey out there. Yeah. I'm hoping it'll all end on some kind of a happy note, but there's no way to make it a happy note because all the dead people on both sides, they don't have a vote.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's kind of... okay, well, let's take a brief break. We're a little over, which is fine, you know. I've got some people here that we love to take care of because they take care of us with their brand and helping us. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to find this real quick. A beautiful day in the neighborhood, can you be mine? Would you be mine? All right, people, here we go.
Look, please stand by. We got guest difficulties. We mean technical difficulties. And may your first child be a masculine child.
Right. I'm sorry, I'm a heartless...
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
Live with Neve, Fridays on the East Coast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
There's some changes headed, like the Gulf Stream rising, like some gale that's been blowing.
That was a killer mashup.
Wild bird island shore, and I can't say where.
Carlton Wilkinson, CarltonJWilkinson.com. Pick up his CD. Great stuff. And there is no shade today, restless or otherwise.
sagging cigarettes, takes the subway home. Rich man folding old regrets, steps on the rundown below.
All right. How's it going, everybody? We got a little
Happy
Carlton
Friday.
Wilkinson. Happy Fridays,
Yes.
peeps. So, are you doing anything exciting, or just staying in and staying out of the weather this weekend?
See, I think
Band
it's
practice
funny.
or anything?
Yeah, we have a rehearsal on Sunday because we have a
Nice.
gig next Thursday. It's good. There's a group called Stilettos on Steel. It's a women's biker group. It's gonna be a knockdown, drag out show. Woo!
Can I jump over the ring ropes and hit him with a
Yeah,
chair?
you should. You should. Last
Yes.
time we played this place, it was another bike night. Batman showed up. Like, no joke. We're just playing, right? And the other guys were looking at us. She's like, "Oh, Batman?" You know, just some dude in a Batman suit. We're like,
Did he have the car?
No, we didn't see any Batmobile.
Too bad, because
Yeah.
there was a guy in Tampa
That's
who
what's
had
up.
one, and it was pretty awesome. He'd show up in black, and he was a big burly guy. He looked like the Batman, you know?
Yeah, this guy, it was impressive. We were all just like, get the hell out of here. We're like, all right, we don't know what's going to happen next. You know?
It's funny. There was another guy that I remember who would show up at gigs in Tampa, Florida back in the 90s, like around 95 till 2000. And he'd walk in a yellow suit, black and white tie, the hair dyed just like Rod Stewart. The guy looked exactly. He was an impersonator. I mean, he looked like
That is
Rod.
awesome.
But I used to call him, when he'd come in, I'd call him Rod the God. Of course, I had to pick on him, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, look at here. Look at, you got Rod the Cod coming in. He's going to play a couple of tunes for us. Come on, Rod. Come on up.
Yeah.
At first, he didn't understand my charm and savoir-faire. He just didn't get it. But once we got to know each other, he realized I was just playing, and that everybody gets a nickname, you know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
That's
good
how
nature.
my life works too. Yeah.
If I didn't
It's
like
just-
the guy, I wouldn't give him one. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like,
Right.
I don't know. Some people, that's a thing that seems to be dying out with these young folks. They seem to be so offended by everything that
you can't do that
you
anymore.
trigger somebody. My God, you know what? Hold on, you know, you get triggered, and it's just like, I say this is
Yeah.
what we do when they're triggered. You give them a little.
That's the rest of the show today.
God damn. It's burning me, man. It's like Joe Biden when he rocks off the stage in the wrong direction. They light him up.
You're making me snort. Snort laugh, snort laugh.
What happened when he stumbled over the Marine who tripped him, or whatever happened up there a few weeks ago.
Yeah. That
You know,
would
that-
be me though, just because I'm clumsy. You know? It's
Yeah,
like
well, I feel bad for the guy. It's a hell of a thing, you know. But
yeah.
hey, he's the president. I say, President Biden, stay healthy. That's all I can say, please.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, I don't want to have Kamala running the show. So, I mean, we are dealing with the Soviet Union and shit. We've got a few things out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just scary sometimes.
The world is still the world. I mean, we'd like to believe that people are all changed and enlightened, but it's still the
Not
same
so
old
much.
shit. Yeah.
If only most Americans, Canadians, people who live in a civilized part of the world, like, you know, people have like American style problems. Oh, I can't go out for dinner tonight, you know.
First world problems. Yeah.
Exactly, and everybody's running around bitching and looking that they don't have a new Versace watch or, you know,
Yeah.
any number of things. I don't know, myself personally, I always just like instruments and books. I don't
Yeah.
really need any other things. Like,
Yeah,
and
there's
I
like certain. Yeah, exactly.
have
Yep.
a good computer enough and you know, assortment of guitars, but it's weird with this AI making songs. Oh,
That is bizarre. That is, and making art, making anything that a human being is supposed to be. That's what art and music is supposed to be part of your soul, in my
I think
opinion.
they want to get rid of us.
Oh,
I
for
don't,
sure.
I don't mean that to be conspiratorial,
No,
but they
it's
just the people
singularity
up there
here.
do not want to pay us. They've been jabbing it down our throats. The people they have to pay, like Mick Jagger and the bigger bands that like U2, they don't have any. They have to just do what they do because it's just all a cash cow. So they all just go, fuck it, we eat at the same table. Let's just be slimy and, you know, act badly.
Yeah.
But it's going to be weird because I think they're going to take all these legacy acts. They're just going to use them for eternity. Sony bought all the catalogs out. They can do
Yeah,
whatever
I
the fuck they
know.
want. Tom Petty, any number of people. That's like kind
Yeah,
of.
you know, that's something I was thinking about too, and not to get like all you know, I'm not saying tribute acts are good or bad. I'm
Right.
not passing judgment, but a thought in my head was with all these people who are like, I'm hearing really great musicians like dedicating their time to somebody else. I'm like, why
Yeah.
won't you put the time into being you? You know,
Well,
and make
it's
something
I'll tell you
like,
why.
different.
Because people, they go to the easy. And a lot of people, and that's why it's hard for professional musicians to get paid what they really deserve. Because you got a lot of hackers out there who are on the weekend warrior scale, and they'll work for fucking $100 for 6 people.
Yeah.
And as a result, you know, it makes it hard. If you have a really great band, you got to get an agent here in Jersey. It's the only way, you know, have an
Yeah.
agent who knows every club, and then you can get the big bucks. But the tribute bands make per dollar and per hour more than, you know, anybody else.
Yeah.
Our friend Craig, who was on doing the Rockaroke. But I agree with you. I think the ideal thing, it's different now because there's not so many venues unless you're really at a certain level and have an agent touring you around X amount of dollars per night. But, you know, it's hard to get the 5-10 grand a night that a band in the show band days, like in the 70s and 80s, you could work at, you know, 2-3 grand a week. And everybody ate well, but you had to cover the gas and the bus and the tickets. It's like today, but it wasn't as it was much more innocent back then. Nowadays, you know, the DJs thing has killed rock and roll. It's
Oh,
killed.
yeah.
I mean, you know, that's why what was his name? Cliff's thing was, it's like karaoke, and they have 800 songs. So people get
Yeah.
up and sing along with a real rock band, but they're still playing to a click track, and it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
It's not the. You really have to want some suffering to be a good independent musician playing your own shit. You got to get out
either
there.
that or a total freak. Because like one of these things
Right.
that like occurred to me is like, you know, I have friends like who would ask me to play with them in, you know, X tribute band, X something.
Right.
And I just could not wrap my head around trying to emulate somebody else. I just
I
feel
get it.
so uncomfortable.
Right.
And it's like people who do that, good for you. I was like, but you know, like some
It's-
people
it's-
are just kind of born freaks, I guess.
Hey, look at Marilyn Manson.
No, right? You know.
I
I mean,
mean-
and I'm saying that like I'm in a cover band, but like one of the things we do is like, you know, I play saxophone to things like Machine Head or Breaking
Right.
the Law. You know,
Yeah.
it's because in my head it's like I always heard of saxophone as a lead instrument more like a guitar. Like when I hear the music in my head, it's slightly askew. You know.
I like it though because I had a guy who I used for 20 years who I just found about a month ago. Actually, my girlfriend, I was telling her about my crazy saxophone player, and I was going, and I said, I've been trying to find this fucker for like 20 years. I've looked on Facebook, and she goes, and I'm like really, I mean, I have. Like, I've put up
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Cook, Kevin Lee Cook, saxophone player. Can't find shit. So we're sitting on the couch, I mention it. She gets on her phone and goes, is this him?
Leave it to her. Probably was right. And
Call
you're
me
like, okay.
stupid. I went, holy shit. I immediately had to call my sound man of like 20 years,
Nice.
Ralph Hartling. If you're out there and watching us, I hope you are. Here's to you, man. I called him up. I'm like, I found the Wookiee. Now, I'll tell you about Kevin Cook. When I hired him, we needed a lead guitarist. We had a guy who was really good, and we had this band. And when I brought him in, I told him, I want you to crank it up. And I want you to, when I point at you, play guitar leads through the whole fucking show because we ain't got a lead guitar player. We got a great rhythm guitar player. And he's okay at leads, but he's not there yet. And now Charlie tears it up. I'm talking where we were both in our 20s, you know. And we neither, and I'd rush and fuck up, you know. I was 18. It took a while to get that. You know, you learn as you go. You just get better and better in an ideal world.
Yeah.
You know, I took a few turns for my diet. You know, that Warren Zevon diet had a few rough bumps, but you know. Mostly, it was really a good time playing great music, and every band I was ever in, we always were banging out the originals while we were playing the covers.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was kind of the best of both worlds back then because we could get hired at good gigs, and we were playing like back in the '80s. We were a cover band, but we fucking tore it up. I mean, and I was in a kind of a top 40 band for a while, which we had a hot chick up front and a sax player. But my friend Kevin Cook, he is a whole completely... There is no one in the world. He's one of the most brilliant people you'll ever meet. He has got a big, bad brain. But before we talk about big, bad brains, let's see here. We need to go and get a commercial break here. And if I can find the proper commercial, let's just start off with our friend Leland Sklar. Actually, here, we'll put this new thing you've heard many times. Nancy Kravitz Photography. She rock and rolls it. Gets it right the first time.
Like a melting flake of snow this year. I won't be sad to see it go.
Hi, I'm Darren F. Flynn, a singer-songwriter from Ireland, and
I'm Neil from Live with Neve. We have an exciting connection for our veterans, country music fans, and there is something for everyone. Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. That's right, we've partnered with Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. See you soon.
Like a melting flake of snow.
All right, we're bringing back Red Fuck. Look at this redheaded bastard.
I'll be sad to see it go.
hi, I'm Darren
Red
F. Flynn,
Fog.
a singer-songwriter from Ireland, and I'm on Live with Neve.
I would have said it couldn't happen here.
Hey there, it's Kevin Sorbo here, and you lucky people, you are live. You're live with Neve or Neve or Neve. I don't know. I can't say the dude's name. Anyway, you're on live with him, so I don't know. I guess that's a pretty good thing.
We're back.
Nice to be back. That's what's up.
Yeah. So I guess our guys, man, we're waiting here for everybody. We are waiting on Dave Look and his...
Come on, Dave.
Come on,
what you
Dave.
doing?
What's the deal? Now, I think it's his drummers, the guy's up in some place
that's right.
cold and fucked up, like Wisconsin or somewhere.
Get out. That is
Yeah,
kinda
he's
cold
somewhere
as fuck.
far and cold. Well, it's not cold now, but it could be. It's one of those places like the lakes never warm up.
Yeah.
In the summer, though, it's great jumping into that cold-ass water at Lake Geneva, shit like that. Oh, yeah.
With
I wouldn't
leeches?
mind having a show up there where we go up to see Irish in Detroit. I don't know, maybe we'll buy like a...
That would be fun.
We'll buy one of those decaying apartment buildings and try our hand in ghetto real estate.
Slumlords.
Slumlords. No, I'm hooking it up with the guys who are hustling, man. Got some business going on, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, they got nice clean tile floors. As long as you pay the rent, I ain't asking no questions, you know?
Yeah.
Do what you want. Keep it quiet, clean. You know, we'll have our private security team to run people out the back door if things get too out of hand.
Yeah, I lived in a place that was like that. I used to, my ex was very naive to living in, like, gritty parts of town, you know? And I told him, I go, we're surrounded by drug dealers. He goes, no, we're not. I go, next time you hear a cop car, I'm going to show you where to look, right?
Right.
So, coming down, right? I show him out the window, just dudes running down the street. And I was like, see?
Jesus.
See?
No shit.
Yep.
That brings back to my mind to Tampa back in the 70s again. Like, I'm talking about 78, 79. And I went to pick up my girlfriend at the airport one time. And Kennedy Boulevard back then, now it's it's not Martin Luther King, it's Buffalo Avenue. Oh, it's John F. Kennedy Boulevard now. I don't know what it was back in the day. But anyway, on the way back, oh, jeez, Mr. Rogers is lurking in the basement
Speaking of
again.
neighborhoods.
I told him to get out of here. He kind of is creeping me out, you know. He sits there quietly and just stares at you.
Yeah.
You get like security. Can we get this guy out of here? I mean, he got his money, right? Get him out of here. What was I saying? What was I yakking about? My brain slanted off into the.
It's like some sort of like you were in a gritty part of town.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's some crazy story, but I don't know. I'm sitting here looking at my clock here, going, "Come on, guys." I can't think of it now, but that's okay. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Or no, it's just a terrible thing.
It can be.
That's what it should be. A mind is a terrible thing. Donate to the United Drummers College Fund. What do you call a guy without a drummer without a girlfriend? Homeless.
I was gonna go with that, but then I'm like, no.
Yeah, I dropped a real bomb at a gathering the other day. I asked a rhetorical question which nobody knew the answer. I said, "It's really a bad joke. People are you're gonna hate me, man. You're gonna hate me." I said, "What's yellow and sleeps alone?" Yoko Ono.
You know what? I hate to say it, but that was my first guess. I should have went with it.
You should have gone with it. You really have. You know, you really need to go. I'm going to send you to my
I
psychologist.
might have telekinesis.
Well, you might have telekinesis. It could be, or you might be emotionally disturbed. In this.
Well, all right. That's probably.
I mean,
more
I could
problem.
send you to my therapist. She's really good at these kind of things.
That's
She
more
works with
problem.
musicians. You know, she takes care of us. She puts the duct tape on my head and sends me out.
Nice.
Yeah, I was reading about the king of radio, Howard Stern. He's always talking about his therapist and analysis. And I'm like, the problem with some people is they go to analysis and therapy, and they never leave. I'm more of the mindset that you go, you kind of figure out a couple of things. Mostly it comes down to just don't be a schmuck in life. Just be decent. Just, you know, the 10 Commandments, some of them you got to break once in a while just to remind yourself that you shouldn't do that. I don't know. I'm not big on the whole
Well,
health.
no one's perfect, you know.
No one's perfect. You know, and when you're young, get it out of your system, people. If you're out there and you're like thinking about going crazy, don't do it at middle age, man. Just get out of here. Like, you know, don't get like,
then it's just lame.
I've done it, man. I mean, really, what was I thinking? I'm 40 years old, making a fair amount of money, and I just have to get a 23-year-old and upend my life completely.
Listen,
Oh.
you know.
But I will say this: there was a certain period of time it was just like I just felt like $1 million, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, old guys and young girls. I would tell all my friends, do not follow what I've done. Do as I don't do, not as I do. I mean, truly. But I would never do it again now. I mean, I've like given warning to my son even, and my daughters too. You know, Talia really found a great guy that she loves, and he loves her, and I have beautiful grandkids. And my daughter Asia, she doesn't want to get married. You know, I don't think. I mean, it's just not her nature. She'd rather, you know, have a few. It's just she works as a nurse. You know, she's very engaged and focused on her job.
Yeah.
It's not that she wouldn't hook up with the right dude, but you know, she's had a couple live-in things, and she's just like, these guys suck. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's like just not even worth like the
yeah, she's like, I don't need
like,
the aggravation, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't get along with somebody before you live with them, and then kind of stick your toe in, and you know, the overnights start to get longer, there's a certain point where it might make sense to try.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you can end up with a pig in the poke, and you know, it's hard to get rid of. And New Jersey, you could theoretically have some lunkhead who's like, I live here and I don't have to go anywhere. And you'd have to like take 90 days to evict him from the house.
Oh my God, I'm sure.
I'm old
sure
school.
there's
They will
something
be
like that.
leaving. I mean, if I had some, they're going out, man. It's not a question of, are you leaving? You are leaving. In fact, the longer you tell me you're not leaving, I'm going to pick you up or help you down the stairs.
Yeah, exactly.
This is New Jersey.
And now that I'm living in a place like it's just me and my son, I don't think anyone could ever like come through these walls. I don't foresee anyone in the entire universe, you
exactly.
know. And that's really the truth. It's like you start to build a peace, and you want that peace, and only certain energies can be allowed into that.
Absolutely. You have to have, a sacrosanct place what's yours that you can do whatever you want. And,
exactly.
Not like, some things that some of us have to deal with. I mean, we all bear our cross.
Yep. That was a really long silence. Where's Dave? Dave, where are you?
Dave, come on, man. We're getting silent here. That's the dead air syndrome that used to make program directors pull their head off.
We're usually really good at bullshitting.
Oh, yeah. Well, we are. I made the pause to give us a moment of silence. Get a cleansing breath.
Yeah, cleansing breath.
It's so fucking hot in my studio right now. It's like, it's got to be 100 in here. I'm soaking wet. I've got one of these Mexican shirts on that are like thick, heavy, and hot.
Yeah.
And holy shit. I'm speaking of Gone Country hats. I'm going to have to reach out to those guys and see. They have a whole new collection of hats, and it might be time to get a couple of hats. We'll see what they have in store for the show.
Get a couple for line dancing. Now, have you ever gone line dancing?
I have played music while watching it enough times.
I'm sure you've played plenty of them, but you ever do it yourself? You said you're a terrible
I've got kind of roped into it a few times, and that I could kind of follow because I'm watching everybody. I just bump into them occasionally. And the girls I danced with were like, "Come on, Shug, you come over here."
Yeah, I got roped into it maybe, I want to say it was maybe 20 years ago or something.
Oh,
Some
no
of my
kidding.
friends that I was working with, they're like, "Come on, Mandy, it's line dancing. You'll have a great time." Now, I don't lean towards country music at that time. I was just like a punk kid,
Right.
and they're like, "Come on, do it." So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna do it." I got my big belt buckle, I got my hat on, and it was a fun time, I gotta tell you, because it was like you don't even really need to think, they're just do what I do.
Who wants to do any thinking? My God, I can't handle that. It's like hell with that. It's the weekend, man. I'm over that till Monday.
No, seriously. When you're responsible for thinking, if you're in any role of you just don't want to think for other people. Sometimes your thinking is like, I'm done thinking for the day,
Oh, I don't know about you, but at the end of my day on the weekend, when I've talked to everybody I need to talk to, had, every possible...
Yeah.
I've had every possible scenario play out. I just turn it off. People go, "What? You turn it off?" I'm like, "Yeah." If anybody dies in the night, they're all in Florida, so I'm not going to get up at 2 a.m. and do any good. What am I going to do? Cry on the phone with somebody? Because if that happens, I'm a real realistic guy. No matter what's happening, if they take them to the hospital, by the time I get on a plane and get to Florida, it's going to be 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. 12 o'clock, I'd immediately be on the phone, figure it out, and be on my way. But if anybody's calling me at 10 o'clock, it's going to be bad news. Because I talk to my friends, I talk to you and my friends online, we're in communication if there's some reason to be talking, either on the phone or on the video thing. In fact, I have friends who hate doing the video teleconferencing thing. But I guess I've just gotten so used to it that I really dig doing it. Well, I see we got somebody lurking in the shadows, so I'm going to play a little rock and roll and then bring our friend on, and we're going to rock on. Everybody, we're going to have Dave Look on just a few minutes wrap up the last bit of the show, and we're going to play some of his rock and roll for you. Check this out. This is some seriously good shit.
Children so wrong, and even from the TV.
What do you think, people? God almighty, that is some tasty
Yes.
shit. Jesus, Lord have mercy, that is great stuff. Well, everybody, I've got the songwriter and singer of this excellent, excellent album. And here he is, the one and only, the man behind the mirror. What's happening, brother?
Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Dave, can you hear us? Let's see. Oh, hold on, his mic's off. Can you try it again? Oh, you just turned it off, mate. There he is.
Nice.
There we go. All right.
Can you hear me, Neil?
I'm hearing you great, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Much better.
Sorry about that. It still shows my mic muted. Okay, it's on like a delay thing. It finally changed. That was messing me up. I was hitting it, but it wasn't moving. All right, man.
It's because you don't have headphones on. Do you happen to have any phones you can put on? It'd make it easier for you to hear. If not, we'll deal with it. No worries. I don't hear you now. You must be off, brother. You were loud and clear. Edit mic settings. Should be rocking it. I don't hear you, Dave. Oh, hold on. It's turned off on your end. There's a little icon at the top right of your screen. Yeah, can't unmute. Your mic isn't connected, it says. You're on your iPhone, right, man? Can't unmute the guest. Huh, this is weird.
Yeah, all new problems.
I know. It's like, here we go. We're having a great day. It says the mic is not connected. He's trying. I can see it toggling. What the fuck? No. Okay, we've got Dave is caught in a vortex. He's in the twilight zone. Even as we speak, Rod Serling is going ding 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 ding. Imagine a singer caught in a world of blue. And then he disappears into the twilight zone. Ding 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 ding. All right, well, we've lost him. So I say, since we've lost him, we play some more rock and roll. Everybody, we're almost done for the day, and we'll be back at 4, I believe. It depends. I'll have to talk to Mandy after the show. We're going to get on the secret bat line and plan our adventures for this afternoon, just for you, the overwhelming and happy public. Let's see what we've got here. This tune is also an excellent song. Let me put it in the proper, make sure I play the right song so we don't play the same thing again. All right, where is it? Present. Present arms. That means stand tall, fuckers. Stop screen. Excuse me, peeps. Sometimes I open my mouth and shit flies out of it. Okay, let's try presenting the sharing of the screen here. Okay, we're going to go with some more of this good stuff. Share it up. Yeah, baby. This is from the Raised on Hollywood album, and it's called You Complete My Soul. Live rock and roll and live with Neve. We'll be right back. Some Dave Look.
I tried for so long just to get you. Now you're really in my hands. I don't know what to do. That's why I'm telling you, baby girl, you complete my soul. Yeah, you do. Baby girl, you complete my soul. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Ever since I found you, I've been so high. Up on cloud 19. Nothing else to do.
All right, all right. I'm going to go ahead and bring Dave on since we're almost out of time, but I want to get, he's got a great announcement, which I'm dying to hear what he's got.
Excellent.
He's sitting there to play some more rock and roll. How are you, Dave? You're back.
Can you hear me, Neil?
I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to have to lower you down a little bit. There we go. You're sounding great. Yeah, man. You're sounding very good.
Okay, man, cool. Well, you know, the bombshell announcement that I told you about on the phone that I kept from you is a negative announcement, but I'm going to have to make it, Neil. Dave Look has been dropped by his publisher.
Oh.
Anonymous. The Anonymous Publishing House gave me the news overnight that they find me to be toxic in our business relationship, and that I have been, or I will receive, paperwork dropping me.
Wow, that's always, I hate that. That's like coming home when we used to have those answering machines, and you know, you had no cell phone, you couldn't reach somebody. You get I've hated you the whole time. You really are a douchebag, and I'm running off with Raul. Okay, you do that, and you sit there in your house. You hope there's a beer in the fridge, and then you go, fuck it. Broken hearts are for assholes. I'm sorry, man.
You know,
Man, I feel bad for you, bro. I really do. Hang on, let me get this ad out of Mandy's face. This
What?
like,
The live, you don't like
yeah,
the
that's
ad
gotta
in my
go.
face?
No, I definitely not digging
exactly.
that.
I'm going to see her.
Yes,
wait till
I
you find
agree,
her.
man. What the hell are we doing here? Live with
Well,
Neve,
Dave, when one
Love.
door closes, another one opens. That's for sure.
Yeah, you
That's
definitely.
for sure.
Absolutely. Now, there are litigating, extenuating circumstances that I won't speak on, but I just wanted to announce publicly I've been dropped.
Well, that really sucks. And you heard it here on Live with Neve. We take the good and the bad, and we just say we're going to keep on pushing. Dave Look's got some excellent music, so regardless of these people failing to take his talents into a finished product, the guy's great. You'll kick ass. It's a great story you've written, but you can write 10 more. In fact, the best part of it is you can write something even better than that and just kick their ass with it. And then, I don't know, when you'll eventually just be able to say fuck them. I mean, that's.
You want to know how I feel about it, Neil? I feel like
good?
I feel like I'm happy that my abducted child is on its way back home.
Hell, you know, there's something to be said for that.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that book is a child of mine. And, you know, in all honesty, that's a very powerful child of mine as well. So I'll be happy to have my child back home, and then we'll find a new future. But, you know, I have some other huge positive news, though. Aside from having this new record out, Raised on Hollywood, that I did with Max Norman, which is an incredible record. Rich Green is on there, ex-Bullet Boys drummer as well. We have a very huge announcement, maybe the biggest of my life. I've confirmed that we're doing a song with the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Billy Sheehan, and we'll have tracks ready for Billy. Yeah, that's huge. That's humbling.
Absolutely.
Huge. You know, I don't feel like no big shot announcing that. I'm just like in awe, and you know, just in the presence of the masters it's awe-inspiring and humbling. And
just
so
kick ass, be humble, and you're gonna make the best fucking record you've made yet. You're going, I'm cruising along. You really are.
Me and Rich talked about it last night. You know, some guys in this position might outthink themselves and be like, oh my God, we have an opportunity with Billy Sheehan. We have to come up with the most technically proficient, crazy, mind-blowing, 10-change song. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just come out and groove really hard with the right hand and sing about I'm the best lay you've never had.
Excellent. Excellent.
Good plan.
That's what we do.
Well, listen, I hate to say we're here at the end of the show, but we're going to have you back. We'll be talking to you. I'm sorry we ran out, but we're going to go out of here with some Raised on Hollywood. This is a great tune here. That's not Raised on Hollywood. Hold on. Let me get back here. All right, folks. This is an excellent bunch of songs. I mean,
By the way, Georgia is the new Hollywood. Georgia is the new Hollywood.
Just remember, lock and load when you're down on Peachtree Street. Any street that says Peachtree, carry your weapon and keep it locked and loaded. Maybe a drop gun in your sock, okay? That's just Neil's advice for Atlanta. We're off to the races, people.
Hey, and I knew the man personally. I can get away with saying this. And watch out for all James Brown Boulevards.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Hold on, peeps. We're going to have some rock and roll playing right here.
Thanks for having me.
We love you, Dave. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. All right, dude.
Mwah, for Mandy. Taking it right there.
All right, people. We're getting out of here. 4 o'clock. All right, Mandy. I'll give you a shout in a little bit.
You